Hi everyone, welcome to Write and Beyond with Uday. In this video, we will learn what is refresh in JPA. So today we are going to understand refresh life cycle as well as what is cascade type refresh. So there is a slight difference between refresh and cascade type refresh. So this is the agenda for this video. So let's begin. So let's understand what is refresh in JPA. So let's say I have a employee entity and if you see in this slide, I have changed the employee name to John Smith, and then let's say I am doing refresh, meaning refresh this employee. So what will happen when I do the refresh? It will fetch the latest data from the database. So in my database, I have John Doe. So this John Smith value will be get replaced by the John Doe. Meaning, if I have changed my employee name to John Smith and then I do the refresh, so at that time, this John Smith will be overridden by the John Doe. Meaning, I will get the output as a John Doe. So basically, refresh, reload from the database. It basically reload the data from the database. So don't worry about this explanation or the definition. Um, I'm going to give you or I'm going to explain this concept with a simple example. So let's jump into the example and understand this. Um, Let me go to my IDE. Okay. And if we see over here, I'm going to use my find by ID method, which is available in my employee service IMPL. And I'm going to use this API, get employee by ID, right? Because over here we are in our service layer, we are using find by ID. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, I will, I will get the ID. I mean, as an input, I will fetch that employee using that ID, right? So I am using this ID as an input and I'm using employee repository and I am fetching an employee. Once the employee is there, what I am going to do, similar to this slide, I am going to update the employee's name. So let me do that. Okay. So, so with the given ID, I am fetching employee. That's it. Okay. Now let's update the employee name. Okay. Mhm. So what I'm doing, I'm setting the first name and I'm basically appending the updated at the end of the name. For example, let's say employee name is John Doy. So my result will be updated. If I call next time, there will be two times updated. Okay. So let's see. Let's call this API find by ID without without refreshing our employee entity. Okay. So let me go to the Postman. Before I go to the Postman, let me start my application. Before I start my application, make sure that your MySQL server is up and running. So in my case, it is up and running. So I'm starting my application, and yeah, my Spring Boot application comes up. Perfect. Now let me try this. Okay, try this API. Find by ID. See, the updated is get appended. Okay. Now if I call it second time, that will be 2 times updated. If I call it third time, that will be 3 updated. We can verify with this with the other API as well, where I am not appending anything. So if I get if I use the get all employees API, I can see 3 times updated. This happens when there is no refresh. Okay, this is the example without refresh. So yeah, one more thing, you can verify the same in the DB as well. So let me expand this. You can see updated, 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 right? So now let's refresh our employee entity. Okay. So in order to refresh, we will require this entity manager. So what you need to do, you need to declare this entity manager over here and you need to use this persistence context annotation. Now now come to the what I can say our find by ID API and use this entity manager and over here call the refresh. So now as per our slide, it should reload the name from the database, meaning let's say in our case name is Emma. So Emma and then I am appending the updated. So my name will be like Emma. Okay, not Emmanuel, but Emma updated. Okay, but when I say refresh, this concat will be gone because when I call the refresh, it will reload this employee from the database using the select query. So let me explain you this. This time let me start this application in a debug mode. So with the debugging mode, I can explain you in a better way. So first of all, let's use this get all APIs and see what is the current value. There are 3 times updated. That's okay. But let me reset using the put API. Let me reset my entity. So it's Emma only. I can verify this with the get all APIs, get all employees API. Now there is no Emma updated, right? There is only Emma. So we have reset the our entity, and if I refresh over here, it is Emma only, right? In the DB as well. Perfect. Now, now let's call this get employee by ID. So if you see our get employee by ID API, so over here I am appending the updated. So my name will be like Emma updated. Then I am calling refresh. So you can guess what will happen, whether I will output as a Emma updated or only Emma. You can guess before I hit this API. Let me know your answer in the comment. So let me hit. You can see there is only Emma. I don't see Emma updated, right? I can verify with this get all employees API as well, right? We can go to the database and fire the select query. You can see Emma only. So how this is happening? So I mean over here, even though I am appending the updated on the first name, but when I say refresh, this entity manager reload the data from the database and remove this. So instead of Emma updated, my inside my DB, the actual name is Emma. So this will Emma updated will be get replaced by the DB value which is Emma. Perfect. So when I say refresh, Emma updated will get replaced with the DB value. In our case, DB value is Emma. Okay. So let me put the debug point over here. Okay. Before I put the debug point, let me see how exactly it works. Let me show you the console. Where is our API? Over here. Okay, perfect. So you can see console is empty. That's perfect. Let me hit the get employee by ID API. So you can see multiple select statement over here. So this first select statement, this first one false when I do find by ID. Okay. So basically we are fetching employee and ID card from the database. That is fine. That is expected. But you can see there is third select statement. When this third select statement comes, it comes when I call the refresh. So basically the JPA, or in our case the Hibernate, fires the select query and reloads the employee. So when we reload, the whatever changes we have made in our employee entity, it will be get replaced by the DB's value. Okay, so in our case, we have made change to the first name as Emma updated, but we have called refresh over here. So our changes will get replaced by the DB value. So in our case, our first name is Emma. So Emma updated got replaced by the Emma, right? Because when I say refresh, Hibernate fires the select query and reloads that particular entity. Okay, so I can explain you this with the debug as well. I have put down the debug point over here. So our execution call will stop over here. So let me clear this console, go to the postman and hit this API once more. Okay. So if I show you the console, till now there is only two statement, right? One select statement for the employee and one for the ID. That is expected because over here we are doing find by ID. All right. Now, if you have seen, I have updated my employee name to Emma updated. That I can verify if I go to thread and variable section and expand this. You can see over here as well. Emma updated. All right. Emma updated. Right. Emma updated. Now, if we see console and this thread and variable, this first name changed to Emma updated, and in the console I can see only one select, I mean two select statement. But if I step over, there will be one more select statement will get fired to reload this employee entity, and this Emma updated will be get replaced by the DB value. So in our case, DB value is Emma that we can verify inside the DB. You can see it is Emma only. So let me step over and show you the console as well. You can see the as I step over, this line get executed, right? This line get executed and select statement has been fired to reload this employee entity. And when it reloads, it replaces the all the changes with the DB value. So in our case, our DB value is Emma and it get replaced, right? So that's how this refresh works. And then I resume, I got the output on the postman. So that's how this refresh life cycle works. It basically override whatever changes we have made and it reloads the data from the database. The simple definition is the refresh reload the data from the database. That's it, nothing else. So this is useful when I, let's say, I'm making a lot of changes, but I want to make sure that I should not, change my DB changes accidentally. So at the end of the API, I can call refresh. So whatever changes I have made, it will be get replaced by the DB value. So I am not accidentally updating anything in the database. So in such cases, we can use refresh. Now, refresh is clear. Now, let's understand what is Cascade type refresh. So, for that, let me introduce our child entity, which is ID card. Okay, ID card. And similar to employee, let me update the ID card number. All right. So, hmm, okay, let me remove this for a while. Let's keep this. Yeah. So now you tell me what will happen now. So if you see, I am trying to append updated on the employee first name as well as the ID card. I mean ID card number. So if I see this um, JSON response in the postman, the card number is employee one. All right. So I should get updated. So now you tell me, because I am refreshing employee over here, what will happen? This, I mean, we know that this will never going to, employee is not never going to happen this updated because we are refreshing the employee over here. But what will happen with the ID card? When I refresh the employee, what will happen with the ID card? Um, will we get response like this with the updated or without updated? You tell me before I hit the API. So you can guess while our server is restarting, then we are going to hit the API. And I let me show you these employee entities as well to show you these cascade types. Okay, there are four cascade type till now: persist, remove, merge, and detach are applied on the ID card entity. So now you tell me what will happen when I hit the API, find by ID API, this one. What will happen? Should I get the ID card number as a updated, appended, or only ID 12345? You can put down your comment in our video. So let's hit this API. That's strange. Don't you feel this is strange? Because I have refreshed the entity, employee entity, and I can see MI is refreshed with the DB value. But in case of ID card, I am getting EMP1 updated, and I can verify with this get all employees as API. You can see first name is still Emma, but card number is updated. We can go to the database and fire the. So if you see before the firing the select statement, I can see card number as EMP1 only. But if I refresh this is updated, right? So why this ID card is not refreshed when I refresh the employee entity? Why it is not refreshed? Because there is only one reason. I haven't added the cascade type refresh over here. So what is happening if I show you the console with the debug? Let me put the debug point over here and let me hit this send API. Let me hit this get employee by ID API. So now our call is here. So this refresh is not yet executed. Okay. So if I show you the console, till now there is two select statement, that is fine. This is for this find by ID call. We are fetching initially this employee entity and ID card from the database. That is for that. But if you see, I have updated both employee and ID card that we can verify using this by going into this thread and variable panel. So if I expand this, or if we can see over here as well, Emma updated. You can see the name first name is updated. And if I scroll and if I see ID card, you can see this is updated because I'm hitting this API for the second time. So this is the second updated. All right. But when I refresh, so you can see it doesn't like that. This updated is not appending inside the I mean ID card. It is getting appended that we can verify in this section thread and variable. But if I go to console and if I step over, there is only one select statement. And now if I go to this thread and variable section, this card number remain as it is, right? And this Emma is get updated. Before it was updated, but now it is Emma only. And this card number is as it is. So let me resume this. And if I go to my postman, I can see updated 2 times. That we can verify inside the database as well. Let me fire the select statement. All right. You can see 2 times updated. And if we see console now, there will be one update statement as well for the, what I can say, for the ID card, because this ID card is getting updated in the database. But why? Why this ID card is getting updated even though I am refreshing this employee? Why this refresh effect is not applying on the ID card entity? Because we haven't added the cascade type refresh on this field. So if we see employee entity, this is the employee entity, and this is the ID card declaration. Okay. And there is a one-to-one relationship between employee and ID card. And you can see now I have added this cascade type refresh. So what this cascade type refresh does? So it basically cascade type refresh, meaning if you see the slide, let me show you the slide first. So this is we have this slide we already understood what happens before refresh and after refresh. Okay, that we have understood. Now we are at this slide, cascade refresh. So what is cascade refresh? So cascade refresh is, if I refresh the parent, child also get refreshed. Meaning if I refresh the employee entity, this ID card entity should also get refreshed. So now if we go to our employee service IMPL, and if we see our find by ID API, you can see now I have refreshed the employee entity. So because I have added this cascade type refresh over here on my ID card mapping, so ID card should also get refreshed. Because of this cascade type refresh, I am saying, because of this cascade type refresh, I am saying if I refresh the employee, all the child of the employee entity should also get refreshed. So who is the child of employee entity? ID card is the child of employee entity. So when I refresh the employee, ID card should also get updated. All right. So let me restart our application, and now you can guess what will happen after adding this cascade type refresh on the mapping. All right. So our application is up and running, and let me clear this console. That's perfect. And in the meantime, initially let me disable this debug point, and let me reset our employee entity. It is reset. I can verify over here as well. If I fetch get all employees, okay, and it is refreshed in the DB as well. First name is only Emma, and the card number is only employee one. Now, let me hit the get employee by ID API. Let me hit this and API. Let me hit this API. You can see API got hit, and if I see, if I see the output, you know, I don't see any updated, neither for employee nor for ID card. So if I hit this API multiple times, I still get the same result, right? There is no updated I can see in employee or in ID card. No matter how many times I hit this API, I can verify the same by going inside this database as well. So let me execute this statement. You can see there is no updated appended over here. All right. There is only this entity. No, it doesn't matter how many times I hit this API. All right. You can see over here. So now what is happening? Let me show you the debug. Now let me enable this debug. All right. I'm enabling and let me hit this API. So if we see the console, there is only two select statement that we know because of we are fetching the employee and ID card from the database using this repository. So that is for that. Now I'm updating both employee and ID card. That is perfect. And I can see the same change over here as well. You can see Emma updated, and if I see the ID card, sorry, over here, Emma updated, and if I see the ID card EMP1 is updated. But as soon as I refresh the employee, both will get refreshed, employee as well as the ID card. The employee is getting refreshed because I'm refreshing the employee entity, but ID card is refreshed because we are adding cascade type refresh over here. That is the only reason that ID card is also getting updated. So let me step over and see what will happen. So till now you can see Emma updated and ID card is also getting updated. But as soon as I step over, this refresh will trigger and our value will be overridden. This Emma updated and ID card number will be get reload from the database. So you can see there is EMP1 and first name is Emma. And if I see the console, there are two select statement has been fired to reload the ID card and the entity. So this is for the ID card and this is for the employee entity. All right. So that's how this refresh works. And if I resume this, I will get the Emma and EMP1 as the output. It doesn't matter how many times I hit this API. Let me debug, right? It doesn't matter how many time I call this API, I will get the same value because I am refreshing the employee entity over here, and because of cascade type refresh on this mapping one-to-one mapping, ID card is also getting refreshed that we have verified with this select statements and using our debug mode. All right, and we can see the same value in the DB as well. All right. So to summarize this video, so what is refresh? Refresh meaning if I refresh the any entity, it will reload the fresh value from the database. And what is cascade type refresh? So cascade type refresh is meaning when I update the employee entity, all the child of employee entity should also get refreshed. So in our case, ID card is the child of employee entity. So when I refresh the employee entity, ID card also get refreshed. So that is it for this refresh video. And if you find my video useful, then please like, share, subscribe, comment. See you in the next video. Bye.